Games are more than just entertainment. They are entire worlds, stories, and emotions that can absorb us for hours, days, and even years. But which of them are really worth trying for everyone? Today we will talk about those 10 games that should be on every gamer's list. These masterpieces have already left their mark on history and do not lose their relevance. Are you ready to go on this exciting journey? Stray is not just a game, it is a work of art that evokes a whole range of emotions in players. Although Stray may seem like a simple game about a cat's journey at first glance, it touches on deeper themes. The game raises questions about existential emptiness, about how artificial intelligence can search for meaning in a world where their creators, humans, are no longer present. One of Stray's greatest strengths is its visual style. The game impresses with its detailed and atmospheric city design. Dirty streets, neon signs, endless networks of wires, all this creates the feeling of a real cyberpunk metropolis. Stray's gameplay combines elements of adventure games, puzzles, and platformers. As a cat, players can climb on roofs, get into narrow passages, interact with the environment to find ways to new areas of the city. The entire plot of the game is built on how the cat travels through the intricate streets of the city. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is not just a game, it is a work of art that every RPG lover should experience. The Witcher 3 takes place in a fictional world based on Slavic mythology, folklore, and literature, especially the works of Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. The player takes on the role of the Witcher Geralt of Rivia, a professional monster hunter who sets out on a dangerous journey to find his adopted daughter Ciri, who is being hunted by a mysterious and dangerous group, the Wild Hunt. The world of The Witcher 3 is full of legends and myths. You can meet all sorts of monsters here. However, the main strength of The Witcher 3 is in the narrative. Dialogues, interactions with NPCs, and the impact of the player's choices on the outcome of events turn the game into a real role-playing epic. Each task, even the most seemingly insignificant, is worked out in such detail that it seems an important part of the overall narrative. The Elder Scrolls V. Skyrim is a game that not only offers a unique and immersive world, but also gives players the opportunity to create their own stories and adventures. It combines freedom of action, a deep role-playing system, and a detailed fantasy world. Skyrim takes place in the fantasy universe of Tamriel, in the Northern Territory called Skyrim. The player takes on the role of the Dragonborn, a mortal with the blood of dragons in his veins. Skyrim is known for its open world, which gives players complete freedom of action. After the first few missions, the player can do anything from completing quests for various factions, such as the Dark Brotherhood or the College of Winterhold, to hunting dragons, exploring caves, and completing side quests. The game's landscapes range from snowy mountains to dark swamps and dense forests. Changing weather and dynamic time of day make the world even more realistic. Resident Evil 4 Remake is not just an updated version of the classic game, it is a complete reimagining that carefully treats the original, but at the same time brings modern technology and mechanics, making the game even more exciting. One of the main changes in the remake is the visual part of the game. Resident Evil 4 Remake is completely remade using the modern game engine RE Engine, which has already proven itself in other games in the series such as Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. One of the most noticeable changes is the redesigned control system. Unlike the original where the camera was fixed, now players can freely control it. Detailed textures, dynamic lighting, and improved environmental effects create tension at every turn. The village, castle, and other key locations of the game look dark, frightening, and filled with an atmosphere of horror. Visual improvements make every encounter with enemies and every fight more realistic and intense. Baldur's Gate 3 is not just another game, but a true work of art in the role-playing genre. The action of Baldur's Gate 3 begins with the protagonist, or heroine, getting on board a ship controlled by Illithids, an ancient and extremely dangerous race of creatures known as Brain Eaters. They implant a larva in the protagonist's brain, which can turn him into one of them. Now his goal is to find a way to get rid of the parasite, while simultaneously facing new threats and uncovering ancient secrets. The game offers a turn-based combat system that requires tactical thinking from the player. Battles are based on initiative. The player and enemies take turns performing actions depending on speed and other characteristics. Players are free to choose the path of passage. The visual component of Baldur's Gate 3 amazes with its detail and attention to detail. Locations, be it city streets or ancient ruins, are designed with incredible accuracy and atmosphere. You can play the campaign with friends, creating your own parties and distributing roles between players. Cyberpunk 2077 is an ambitious project that aims to offer players an incredibly detailed world and an exciting story in the science fiction genre. The events of Cyberpunk 2077 unfold in 2077 in the gloomy metropolis of Night City, located on the west coast of the United States. The player acts as V, a mercenary who must go through many trials in search of his place in a world where technology has surpassed moral standards. Cyberpunk 2077 is an RPG with first-person shooter elements in which players can choose different playstyles, from stealth to open firefights. Night City is one of the most detailed and atmospheric megalopolises created in video games. The game world is not just large, it lives its own life. Different areas of the city, from poor neighborhoods to luxurious corporations, create the impression of a real futuristic metropolis. Each district has something unique to offer, whether it's street gangs, futuristic technology, or secret corporations plotting behind the backs of citizens. The Legend of Zelda. Breath of the Wild is an example of how a game can change an entire genre and set new standards for the entire industry. Its open world, full of possibilities and secrets, interactive mechanics, and a gripping storyline make it a must-have for any fan of adventure games. This is not just a game, but a real journey that gives an unforgettable experience and leaves a mark on the soul of everyone who sets foot on the expanses of Hyrule. One important mechanic of the game is the destructible weapon system. Any weapon that Link finds breaks over time, which adds an element of survival and forces you to constantly search for new resources. One of the most impressive aspects of Breath of the Wild is its art style. The game combines cartoonish graphics with realistic elements of the environment, which creates a unique visual effect. Forests, mountains, deserts, rivers, each location is unique in its own way and filled with life. Although the main focus in Breath of the Wild is on exploration and gameplay mechanics, the story remains an important part of the game. The Last of Us. Part 2 is a game that is not afraid to take risks and pose difficult moral dilemmas to players. It is not just a post-apocalyptic action game with survival elements. It is an emotional journey through a world where every choice has consequences. Dark, brutal, and at the same time deeply touching storyline makes The Last of Us Part 2 one of the most memorable projects of recent years. Graphics in The Last of Us. Part 2 deserves special attention with detailed character models, realistic textures, and impressive animation. Each location, from abandoned cities to dense forests, is made with incredible care. The post-apocalyptic world of the game looks threatening and fascinating at the same time, reflecting the destroyed civilization and nature gradually regaining control. Despite the controversies, this game will remain an important milestone in the video game industry, reminding that games can not only entertain, but also make you think about complex issues of human nature. Red Dead Redemption 2 is not just a game about robbers and shootouts, but a true epic about human destinies, moral choices, and the fight for survival. With a deep story and exciting gameplay, it left an indelible mark on the history of video games and continues to inspire both players and developers. The graphics in Red Dead Redemption 2 are stunning. The designers put a lot of effort into creating a realistic world, from the details of the characters' faces to the changing weather conditions. Lighting and animation effects make every scene visually stunning. Music and soundtrack also play a key role in creating the atmosphere. The original soundtrack, written by Daniel Lanois and Rupert Gregson-Williams, emphasizes the emotional moments of the game and creates tension during critical scenes. This game reminds us that the world, although wild and merciless, is full of complex human stories that are worth being told. Black Myth. Wukong promises to be one of the most exciting action RPG games, offering players a unique experience based on the rich Chinese mythology. With a gripping storyline, unique mechanics, the game has every chance to take a worthy place among the best projects in the industry. Players' expectations are high, and the developers are confident that Black Myth, Wukong will not disappoint its fans, providing an exciting adventure full of myths and legends. Black Myth, Wukong is based on the story of Sun Wukong, also known as the Monkey King. This character is one of the most famous heroes of Chinese mythology, possessing supernatural powers and unique traits. Players will be able to explore his adventures. Black Myth, Wukong stands out with its stunning visual style. The developers used advanced technologies such as ray tracing and deep lighting to create realistic graphics and impressive animations. The game's mythological world is full of vibrant colors, detailed landscapes, and spectacular combat animations. We've reviewed 10 amazing games that should be in every collection. Not only do these games offer amazing gameplay, but they also leave an unforgettable experience. Which one are you going to try first? Or maybe you have your own favorites that we haven't mentioned. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget, the world of gaming is vast, and your next great adventure may be just a click away. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.